Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. And in today's video, Hydra Clash. The drama continues. The drama continues. We have some really broken types of things emerging since the Corpulent Cadaver nerf. No, not really a surprise, right? The community were trying to find the next best thing. What can mix it up? And there's been one thing that's not a surprise, but we need to talk about. And then one thing that definitely is a surprise in a kind of interesting way. Let's look at this first thing first. So this first one does seem to be probably a bug. This is, unfortunately, I don't speak German, so I'm not able to understand what he's actually saying here, but this is from Essie or SL, who's a German content creator. Now, I do speak enough German to know that Emist ist broken. I can make a pretty good stab at translating what that is. But if we look at this, I just want to show you a little bit of a clip of this so you can see what is happening. But basically what appears to be happening is that when the taunt buff is up, it will actually prevent the Hydra from devouring a champion. Simple enough. Indeed, this is probably not just a problem with Emic. This will probably be something that happens with any champion with taunt. It's probably a bug with taunt, most likely. I don't have Emic, unfortunately, so I can't test it out. But you can see here, Husk is at 0 on the timer. Emic has 2 turns of taunt. Like this Fearhead is about to take its turn. The Fearhead should absolutely devour him. And instead it's going to A1. Right, and let's leave it play because more stuff is going to happen. Now, sometimes there are, unfortunately, I don't have a proper exhaustive list. Sometimes the Hydra will do other things and not devour you, and you will get to 0 turns on the timer, but it's pretty unusual. There's very few things that are higher priority. Nearly always, the devour does take precedence. So this is kind of crazy, but like if we skip on a little bit further. Okay, so here we go. We see a bunch more heads about to take turns. Bam, the provoke goes back on. We've got an AoE from this Fearhead, no devour. And so on. So this is just kind of nuts, right? So again, we'll watch it. These heads are going to keep taking turns and no devour. Now, you cannot use this, obviously, easily to prevent devour ever happening. Certainly with one Emic, I don't think it's possible, right? Because it's a 2-turn buff with a 4-turn cooldown. So it's almost impossible to have it up all the time. You would need essentially perfect luck with reflex set, or you'd need very consistent cooldown reduction. You could probably make it work with like 2 Emics or 2 champions with taunt. I'm curious to see what would happen. But again, you can see all of these heads are firing off abilities, and this champion's just not getting devoured, which is really just, it's going to help you get a lot more damage out than you probably should. So here we go. Taunt falls off, and now at this point, as soon as a head takes a turn, it should, yeah, and bam, he goes and gets Devour there. So it's obviously very, very difficult to keep that taunt up the whole time. As far as I'm aware, you cannot extend taunt with buff extension, etc. So yeah, I don't know. There are possibly teams, though, you could come up with cooldown reduction for Emic, with reflex set on Emic, with 2 champions with taunt, perhaps, and you could make it happen. Never get devoured. It's going to make Hydra a heck of a lot easier if your champions never get devoured, huh? Sure will. Here's the thing. Is this a bug? Yeah, almost definitely, right? Is this intended? Almost definitely not. So there's a very good chance that this will get bug fixed and changed. So you can see the ultimate score for this key. Like, it's not doing something absolutely crazy. This is a very reasonable score with these champions. It's just sort of helping you push that damage a little bit further. But I think it does seem to, I don't know, require a good bit of work. Like, it's a very impressive score for Nightmare, 300 million. Like, that's super cool. So yeah, we'll see exactly what happens. But would I be rushing out to build a bunch of teams with Emic to take advantage of this apparent bug? I wouldn't be rushing out to do it. I think there's a really, really good chance that this gets bug fixed. But it might take them, if it's anything like Cadaver, it could take them 6 weeks to do so. But that would be my guess, is that it will be changed, right? They were very quick to nerf Emic's A1. I think they'll be happy to nerf this aspect as well, and I can understand why. Now, the second thing, which is diving into the realm of crazy scores. This is, again, something we predict. This is from Callus. It was actually shared by Victor Tez in the content creator chat. So first of all, I do love the feet on the side. That is lovely. I think I should get a nice foot frame for all of my videos as well. I think that'd be great. Um, yeah, as you can see with this one, this is on brutal for Hydra. I think that one with Emic we just saw was on Nightmare. Yeah, this is on brutal, and he has 13 billion damage done with Trunda. What do we have going with Trunda? We've got double Yumiko, and then we've got Shuzen. So Shuzen is like one of the new sort of things. She's sort of like an upgrade to Arbiter right here. So essentially what she does, she's bringing you the increased speed, decreased speed, and turn meter boosting. Then this move, she gives increased attack, crit rate, crit damage, and then an instant turn on a 3-turn cooldown. So you can use this to basically funnel extra turns into Trunda to speed her up, because Trunda's cooldowns are quite long, and they're actually so long that it's not going to fully reset them with a Yumiko, right? Or you can just sort of speed it up. You can make it go faster, and like the Yumiko resets Shuzen, you boost Trunda up again, etc., etc., and you just have Yumiko Trunda flying through these turns. So I believe that you would not fully reset Trunda's A3 with one of these combos, but you would reset her A2, because I think her A2 is a 4-turn. Yumiko reduces it by 3, and then she gets a 1-turn cooldown, of course, as well at the start of her turn. So you could keep spamming out Cloak of Ages, basically, but you couldn't keep spamming out Forge Rhythm. Wouldn't quite work. But yeah, this is pretty crazy, right? Pretty nuts. So the older version of this team would probably use something like Arbiter for increased attack and turn meter, which would be strong, but not as strong as this. So yeah, look, I feel like I have done as much as I possibly can at this point to break this stuff down. Like, I've done videos talking about this. I did a video on Ash's channel talking about this. I think I've really drawn more than enough attention to these issues, but like the double Yumiko thing is again it's exactly what I said would happen. Double Yumiko, it's just leaving more potential for, you know, these sort of specific niche mechanics to be exploited, and that's exactly what's happening here. Double Yumiko, they're at it again. Here we go. So yeah, and if they never change this, so basically the problem is that Yumiko can reset. They can reset each other's move, right? So basically, Yumiko 1 comes in, uses Dance of Time, right? Resets their ally skills. Allies use their skills. Yumiko 2 comes in, resets them all again, including helping to reset this one. Allies all use their skills. This Yumiko takes a couple of turns and then resets, helps reset Yumiko number 2. So they're just pumping out resets like crazy. For example, with Prince Kaimar, it's silly. It doesn't say it in his skill, but you cannot reset or reduce the cooldown of Seal of Magic, but you can with Yumiko. Yumiko can reset each other. So yeah, look, here's another version of it being exploited, right? If they nerf Trunda or like whatever they do, right? If they don't change the double Yumiko thing, it's gonna keep happening. Okay, this is going to keep happening, and that's the way it is. That was what made Corpulent Cadaver go from being insanely overpowered to like on another stratosphere of overpowered, right? Was the double Yumiko. It's just gonna keep happening until they stop this interaction. And any new content they introduce, if they add a Hydra clash, like if they do clan boss clash, like anywhere in the game, right, where you start needing to push these huge numbers, double Yumiko is going to be the thing. So that's what's going on there. Trunda as well, obviously, her damage potential is insane, this A2. This is working on Brutal. This certainly seems, I'd say this is very likely to be viable on Nightmare as well. It's not too surprising. Now, this is sort of a best case scenario in a lot of ways, right? This is a +4 6-star Awakened Trunda. He probably has insane gear. So certainly we're not going to see numbers anywhere like we saw with Corpulent Cadaver. But this is still miles beyond, guys, what you could achieve otherwise. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the record is for Brutal before this, but I believe the previous record for Nightmare was about 800 million. So this is over, this is over 13 times as much damage as that. Over 13. More like what? 16, 17, 18 times as much damage? Something crazy like that. It's on Brutal. I don't know what the Brutal record was. It might have been like, maybe it was probably like 1.4 billion or something. This is up to 13 billion. So this is likely to be like 13 times ahead of the previous record, I think. It's kind of nuts. Anyway, I do think it's viable on Nightmare. I certainly think it's very viable on hard and normal as well. So yeah, again, Hydra Clash at the high end doesn't affect most people, right? But at the high end, it will ultimately come down to how many double Yumiko Trundas can you put together. You know, how many people can put together 3 double Yumiko Trunda teams in your clan? Let's go. So yeah, it's kind of nuts. Now, what is interesting about this with Corpse and Cadaver, no one had you, as far as I'm aware, nobody had used that before Hydra Clash came out. So I can understand them not being ready to nerf Corpse and Cadaver immediately. And it, if it took them like a week or two, I'd be like, okay, cool. It took you a week or two to nerf Cadaver to work out what to do. That's fine because nobody saw it coming. As far as I know, no one saw it coming. It's okay if it takes a week or two. It took them 6 weeks. That's just stupid, right? That's just bad. But like I could understand it takes a little while. Trunda, I think we've known about Trunda being insane for Hydra. Just being completely her A2 is. I'm not going to explain it. I've explained it 10 billion times already. But we've known about Trunda for over a year and a half. Like, when was that discovered? A month or two into Hydra? I'm not even sure. Like, the first month was all deterrence abuse. Maybe 2 months into Hydra or so, it's been at least a year and a half, right? They have been fully aware of what Trunda can do in Hydra. I mean, I even said it to them when they announced Hydra Clash. I was like, I'm really concerned with Hydra Clash. It's just going to come down to who is the most Trundas for normal and hard. I didn't even realize it would be this strong and brutal. I didn't even realize it would be this good. But it is. So they've known about this Trunda thing for ages, and they've left it in the game and not done anything about it. So for them to come in now and to nerf Trunda, I still think it's good for the health of the game, but I can really understand frustration, right? I can understand that being frustrating. Like, Cadaver was like, okay, this is like a new thing, and it's clearly crazy and ridiculous. Like, Trunda has been crazy and ridiculous forever, and it's not been fixed. I just feel it's really bad design, honestly. On Plarium's part, it's really bad design. Did you know about Trunda before Hydra Clash? Yes. Could you have fixed it before Hydra Clash? Yes. Could you have known this would be like potentially a massive problem for Hydra Clash? Yes. All of this stuff is obvious. They could have changed it way before. There are so many ways that they could have handled this, dealt with it. Yeah, I just think it's really silly. So yeah, this is I don't, as far as I'm aware, there's no other team that can come even close to this. Like, you've got other champs that are really strong, obviously for like hard and brutal, like Taurus is obviously insane as well, but it's nothing on this level. Like, even it's interesting. I think a couple of people in my clan have put in a couple of keys already, but they're not like optimized. Like, let's see. No one's really using the trend. Like, but these are normal brutal scores of like 200 million, right? That's a normal. This is 13 billion. That's ridiculous. That's even hard. Like, we've got 700 million, right? There's one Yumiko, a one Yumiko team, even as a Kaimar with a Trunda, and it's 700 million, right? Double Yumiko with the Shuzen, 13 billion. I just think it's dumb. I think it's really dumb, and hopefully they fix it. I mean, this is not totally absurd. Like, honestly, for hard difficulty, I mean, 700 million from a +4 Trunda, like, that doesn't bother me. Honestly, that's actually fine. I'm okay with that. I mean, it is a little silly, but if they wanted to leave that in the game and say, like, yeah, it's totally stupid, but screw it, I'd be like, okay, sure, fine. Or like, +2 Trunda, like a +2 Trunda here. Taurus is doing very similar damage in this particular team, right? So I don't have a massive issue with it. The other thing just to leave you with this idea from a clanmate who's actually been running a team very like this. He was able to tell me that from what he's been doing, it's one of the most frustrating teams to run. Like, this is almost 2 hours of painstaking manual play. Apparently, this is extremely gear intensive to build. Obviously, it's extremely champion intensive to build. This is not easy by any means, shape, or form, and it's not easy to run the team. It's very difficult. It's very easy for things to go wrong. So yeah, but I mean, this is week 1 of this. We could see scores even higher potentially. I don't know. We'll see, but look, I just want to fill you guys in. This is what's happening with Hydra Clash. So we've got the Emic bug. That is certainly interesting and likely to be fixed. And then trying to, I genuinely don't know. If I was to guess right now, I definitely think they will fix the Emic thing. I think that's going to be fixed. Pretty much 100% sure about that, because that seems totally like bugged and it's new. I do not know what they're going to do with the Trunda and the double Yumiko. Like in my opinion, they should just like they should absolutely 100% stop Yumiko resetting her own skills. It's so stupid. Trunda again, I think they need to fix how the second hit works. Like it does not do 60% of the set of the damage. It doesn't do that. They need to, in my opinion, nerf it and then give her some buffs to make up for it. Sure, like I have no problem with her being good, but yeah, I don't think this is good for the game. Simple enough. Anyway, there you go. Now you know. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.